All right. So we'll start. Okay, we'll start. Um, if you have any query so far until wherever sessions you have followed, if you are facing any difficulty, please let me know, because this particular session is essentially for that. That is to discuss where exactly you are lagging behind, or which are the difficulties that you are facing if you are not able to get any option or any tool within your interface of QGIS and things like that. So this is where you can discuss it with me. If you feel that any of the session requires any improvement, then that as well you have to share it with me over here. I will also be sharing a feedback link with your group, within our WhatsApp group, where as well you can give me your feedback, not just good feedbacks, but also where it can be improved. Because every time that this camp is offered to a new batch, what we are intending is that we will improve it day by day, so that the next batch will find it even more productive, and then it will be insightful also. It should not just be aimless tools that are being taught in a session. We would want it to be more insightful, wherein the participants can take up at least a very small research project of their own, a very mini project, something like that, and then maybe work on it, fulfill it completely using the tools and techniques that are taught within this camp, and then put it forward as a portfolio on their LinkedIn, so that it becomes visible to whoever visits their profile. So it is, I would say that it is your responsibility to tell me where exactly these sessions needs to be improved, right? So if you feel any of the recording is not up to the mark, or has a lot of ambiguity or anything of that sort, then you have to speak it out, because that is where I will be benefiting from you. So let's get going then. What we are doing in this particular session, definitely it is a doubt solving session, but then there was a concern regarding the bonus video that is shared with you all, that is regarding atmospheric correction, applying atmospheric correction, basic atmospheric correction, the preliminary atmospheric correction to be applied to the Landsat data, Landsat 8 as well as 9. But then in the similar way, you can also follow up with the other satellite data, that as well you can correct for atmospheric disturbances, atmospheric errors, or atmospheric correction. That is what we call it. Okay. So we will get going with that. If you have any query regarding whichever sessions that you have followed so far, you are free to unmute yourself and ask that query. Or if you have any other question, any question it could be, okay, any question pertaining to the camp or pertaining to the work that you are intending to do during this particular camp, any question, if you feel you are comfortable putting on your mic and speaking about it to me, do go ahead, don't feel hesitant. And also, if you feel that okay, fine, I can also drop it as a message, then please go ahead and do that. Drop a message. Anything will do. Okay. So let's get going. What I'm doing is I have opened a new project in QGIS, and I will show you two methods. Okay. I will be showing two methods. So let's go to layers, add layers. We are trying to add a raster layer. Some of you might have already gone through importing satellite data and raster as well as vector data, and also styling it, how we can style it within QGIS. So I am adding a raster data. Raster data is much like a photograph data. It is made out of small units that we call pixels. Okay, it's an array of values or pixels. So I go here to raster data sets. At the very end of it, I see an option which reads browse. So this makes me, it lets me browse into my device, into my system memory, wherever I have any file stored. So now from here, I have already corrected this data, but let me act like I have not. Okay. So let's go in here. This is the first method that we are following. So what you will do, you will import, let's say, let me import band 1 and band 2. Okay. So 2 we will do, and give me a second. So I will import this Give it a second. Alright. So I take this band 1, selecting it, band 2 as well, and I'm opening it and adding it to the map view. So when I click add, only then it will be added to my map view. Let's close this. So I have two bands. These are raw bands. Okay, these are raw bands that I have downloaded as it is from either Earth Data or from USGS Glovis or any other portal. There are many portals from where you can download these data sets. So I am going for Landsat 8, two bands, that is band 1 and band 2, belonging to the same data set. And that say data set, you will see that I have stored it over here. Okay, I have stored it over here. Now from here, what I want to do is I will go for this mtl.txt file. So you will see a .text file, a text format file. It ends with capital M, capital T, capital L. So this is the metadata file. So what I will do, I will double click and open this up. This is something how it looks. Now don't be baffled at so much of information that is put over here. I am not interested in everything. I am only interested in these two factors. So let me search for it. And those factors goes by the name radians. Okay, they go by the name radians. So let me find the radians. This is not the one. This also is not the one. Not radians maximum or minimum. I am interested in radians mult. Okay, I'm interested in radians mult. Mult means multiplicative factor. This is radians multiplicative factor for band 1. This is the value. Radians multiplicative factor for band 2. And likewise, I have all the way until band 11, which means I will be teaching you how to correct one band, and the rest of them will follow the same method, which means that you will be in a position to correct any number of bands that you require within Landsat 8. Landsat 8 and Landsat 9, both of them follow the same method. That means no matter whether you are trying to correct band 1 or you are trying to correct band 2, both will go very well and you will be able to correct it using the same method. Now when you want to correct any other kind of data, then you will have to look out for the methodology. And that methodology, how exactly to find, that you will get to know when I show you Landsat 8 and Landsat 9. Okay. So we have found one factor that we want is radians multiplicative, and the other that we want is right below it, that is radians additive band or radians additive factor. Okay, these are the two that I require. Okay, now that I have reached here, let me close down this finder and I want to open an Excel sheet. Okay, give me a second. Let me see if I have already made one. Okay, apparently I have not made one. Good to go. So let me find an Excel sheet. I will open a new Excel sheet. This is where I want to note down all these values that pertain to band 1. I will show you, rest you will be doing. Okay. So what I do, I bring this Excel sheet over here and in cell A2, I am writing multiplicative, that is radians multiplicative factor. Okay. And in the next, I am writing radians additive factor. Okay. These are the two factors that I want. And for how many bands do I want this? I want this for all 11 bands. So band 1, band 2, band 3, and I can just drag it all until I reach band 11, because there are 11 bands or 11 eyes on this Landsat 8 satellite. It means it has 11 filters. These filters are much like eyes because ultimately they click pictures, correct? No, each Landsat scene has 11 views or 11 scenes, 11 bands. Each band is like a like one specific eye that is capable of performing a very specific task. Okay, so band 1, let's go here. What we will do, band 1 multiplicative factor, we will copy this from here. I will do it for only band 1, you will be doing it for all. Okay, and then I will go for radians additive for band 1, which is minus 61.30984. So control C, come back here and paste it within this. Okay, at any point of time if I'm not audible to you, please let me know. Okay, now this is in scientific format. You see that this particular value is in scientific format. So what I will do, I will drop this down and convert it into number. So what I see that it has been converted into a decimal. Now to this you will see that is radians additive factor 1 2 3 4 5 decimal places are there, but here only 2 are there. So what I would want to do, I would want to extend this to match with that of the decimal places of additive factor. Both of them have the same number of decimal value. Okay, so once I do this, I have to first save this, isn't it? I will be saving this particular file within the same folder. Okay, within the same folder. So my folder is lying on desktop here in camp. Okay, and this is the folder where all my data is there. Now right now I'm in Excel workbook, so nothing is there, that is why I cannot see. But let me open a new folder. So whatever data that I create, any sheet that I create, or any new data, that derived data that I create, I will be placing it within a new fresh folder, and I will name it processed. That means whatever processing I have done, I'm saving all that file within this particular folder. But then you will see I already have a processed folder. Let me give this an extension of 1. So I know that this is the one that I have prepared just now. So let's go into this processed 1 folder and let's save this. That is extracted metadata. Okay. This is extracted metadata that I have extracted as per my requirement. So I have saved this. Let's minimize this again and come back here. Okay. Now, before that, let us go back to Google. Let me go to Google, and this is where I would want to search for atmospheric correction of, I want to see what data this is. This is LC08. That means it is Landsat 8 dataset. You can search for Landsat 9. Both of them have the same method. Atmospheric correction of Landsat 8. Okay. So here I will get one link, which is this one, level 1 data processing. Let's go here to this particular link. Have I used the correct link? Don't want harmonize. Calibration. Okay, so here to this particular link, let me share this with you all. It goes by GISAG Maps. There is a official link as well, but then somehow it is not popping up at the very top. But this link will also do. Okay, that link you should be able to find within the recorded session that is shared with you. Okay, so let us again come back to our link, which is here. Now, the method that we are going to follow is top of atmosphere radiance. Okay, there are many methods that are listed over here, and if I show you one method, you are in a position to do no matter how many other methods come to you. So let me find that one method, which is top of atmosphere. This is spectral radiance. Yes, so we will go for top of atmosphere spectral radiance. Okay, so this is the equation that I'm going to follow. Let me zoom in a little so that it can be seen very clearly. Yes, so here we have L lambda. What is L lambda? It is top of atmosphere spectral radiance, that is correction that we apply, and then we get top of atmosphere spectral radiance. Now, besides that, to calculate this top of atmosphere spectral radiance, we need to have ML. What is ML? It is a band specific multiplicative rescaling factor that we will find from metadata, which will be shown as radiance mult of band X. X stands for all the bands, okay, 1, 2, 3, all the way to 9. Besides that, we have QCal. What is QCal? It is quantized and calibrated standard product pixel value. It is our pixel value. That means it is our band, raw band. And besides that, we have AL. What is AL? AL is band specific additive rescaling factor. Okay. Now, because we have already found what is our AL, that is additive rescaling factor, and ML, that is multiplicative rescaling factor, and we have already populated it over here. Let us go ahead and start with this particular equation. So all that we have to do is make this particular equation within QGIS, which is very much possible using this fantastic tool that goes by the name. So if you don't find that processing toolbox there, you go to processing and click on toolbox. So that processing toolbox will show up over here. Okay. Now within this processing toolbox, you will go to raster analysis, and under raster analysis, you will find this tool called raster calculator. Double click on this raster calculator and go to this input layers. Go to that input layer. The band that you want to correct, as in I want to correct right now, is band 1. So I will select this band 1. You see B1, band 1 I have selected. I'm clicking on OK. Okay. And then I come to expression. I have to write this expression. That is, what is the expression? The expression is L lambda is equal to multiplicative rescaling factor of band 1 multiplied by raw band 1 plus the additive rescaling factor of band 1. So I have all these. Let me go to my Excel sheet. This is the multiplicative rescaling factor. Let me copy this and come back to QGIS tool, that is here, and I will simply paste this value over here and just remove this excess space that you get in front, right? Just remove this. Okay, I think there is none over there. Okay, and then I go for multiplying this. So use this keyboard only, on screen keyboard that you get within this expression, multiplied by, just go back because it has come behind. I got. Okay, it's not working. I think it should be fine. If at all my expression comes fine. Multiply this by band 1. Double click on this so that you can multiply it with band 1, and then plus. But our additive rescaling factor is in negative, that is minus 61, correct? No? So at times we want to go like a layman, like we know nothing much. I can directly go for minus 61 as well, but then let me go for plus and then put a bracket and add this particular value, that is the additive rescaling factor, and then close this bracket. Okay, so this is my expression. I hope it is correct. If it is correct, there should be no pop-up. Yeah, okay, there is no pop-up, so everything has come fine. If you feel there is any extra unnecessary space, you can delete it from here. And now I will go ahead. I'm not setting any output extent because I want the entire scene to be corrected. So let us go. Output cell size, I'm not setting it because it is all optional. It will be automatically taken from this particular band that I am using. And then let us go ahead and save this particular file. Often in QGIS, no, not often, every time, whenever you make a file in QGIS, it is always going to be a temporary file if you don't save it. Which means that if you want to save that file, you know that you are going to use it permanently at some point of time, then you would want to save that particular file. So go save to file, okay? And then I will go to that specific folder where my processed file folder is created. So it is here. This is the mother file which carries all the data set, and processed one is the folder that I had created. So I will go into processed one, and here I will write top of atmosphere underscore RAD. RAD stands for radians, and then underscore. I would also want to write down this particular date, because this particular date is the date of acquisition wherein the image was taken. It was taken on 2013, 5th month, 20th day of 5th month. Okay, so it is 2013, 5th month, that is May, and 20th of May 2023. And then I give this an extension .tiff. Even if you don't give, it's fine. So in ArcGIS, when you work, you have to give the extension. If you don't give the extension, then the system doesn't recognize what format it is being saved in. But when it comes to QGIS, you get a save as type. So already TIFF is there. If there is anything else other than that, then you might want to change it to TIFF and then TIF, okay, not TIFF. And then I am saving it within this processed one folder, so that my raw data is separate, whatever data I am generating, that is separate. Now once this is done, I can run this tool, wait for a while until the top of atmosphere radiance is populated. If it doesn't get populated, you get some error, you can directly go to parameter and see what exactly you have done wrong or what you need to add. Okay, and then, or if you close it down, then you might have to redo everything. But unless and until you don't unless and until you close it down, you will have to maybe redo everything, the expression also you will have to do. So now what I have done is I have corrected band 1. You will see slight changes. This has become more darker. Okay. Now this is essentially because band 1 is a coastal aerosol band. It sees essentially the atmosphere, because of which what has happened, very few of these blue radiations, no, deep blue or starting blue radiation are able to reach the ground, because mostly it is all scattered within the atmosphere, because of which top of atmosphere radiance here you will see darker, because at the top of atmosphere, what is the radiance that is received, that is exactly what we are finding out over here. Okay, there are multiple methods. Top of atmosphere radiance is there, top of atmosphere reflectance is there, spectral reflectance is there, and bottom of the atmosphere radiance is there, bottom of the radiance bottom of atmosphere reflectance is there, bottom of atmosphere surface reflectance is there. So there are multiple methods in which you can correct your data sets. You can also apply all these techniques and see which is the one that fits in for your study very, very well. Okay, so this is the first method that I have shown you. Let me ask you yet again if there is any query. Let me check my message box if there is any query waiting for me. Yes, no. Is there anybody who is waiting to ask any question? All right. Okay, fine. Okay. So besides that, we have this plugin that is called SCP plugin. Okay. By now you must have already known how to install a plugin. So when you install a plugin, make sure that you go for this particular SCP plugin. So if I go to manage and install plugin, I have to go to all, and here I will try semi automatic classification plugin. So semi-automatic classification plugin, you will see this very specific symbol, and this is exactly what you have to install. Okay, now because I have already installed it, I'm getting a reinstall option, or to uninstall it, I have already installed it. Let me close it up. Now often what may happen is that this SCP plugin won't show up. So what you can do, just close down your QGIS and then yet again open it. Okay. Now let me go, but make sure that you save this particular project, because if you open it, then it is not there saved. So you will have to again, import all these files yet again. Okay. Now let me go to this SCP plugin, and here I am going to band processing. Okay, I'm going to band processing. Just click on here. Sorry, I'm going to pre-processing. Okay, I'm going to pre-processing. Under pre-processing, I will go for, okay, let me just go to SCP band set. I'm just taking this band set no matter where, and then band here into pre-processing, and here into pre-processing I will go for uh, yes, I will go for image conversion. So here what I am doing, I am converting my raw data into reflectance and temperature. Okay, this is also a method in which you can go for atmospheric correction. This is a dark object subtraction atmospheric correction. Read a little bit about what is dark object subtraction, and it's a very simple technique. Let's go ahead for doing this. Directory containing band. So here we get an option. We have to give the directory or the folder where our bands are located. So I will go here, click on this. I will go to that folder which carries all my data set, and then I will simply click on this folder such that the folder name gets populated here, and select the folder. As I select the folder, what will happen is that all these bands, that is all the bands, band 1 to band 3 to band 4, all the way to band 11 will get populated over here. You will see all the bands showing up here: band 1, band 2, band 3, all the way to band 7, and then band 10 and band 11. So all the bands are here. Okay. Now I want to apply dark object subtraction atmospheric cover. The no data value is 0, and create band set and use band set tools. Create a new band set. Okay. I want to create a new band set as well. Select metadata file. Let me go again. Click on this particular option and find the metadata file. This metadata file you have already opened earlier, but this time that you open it, you have to go for the XML file. So you see that mtd file dot XML. So this is XML file. This is the one MTL file that I want to go for, and open this. So as you open this, what will happen is that the scale or the offset, what is the no data value, everything, the date of procurement, all these things no will get selected over here, will automatically get loaded. Okay. So we are also interested in seeing what we have got for the uh, bandwidth. Offset is there. Okay. Yes, so this is the scale that has also been populated, and yes, everything is there. Then let's go ahead and run this. Okay. So now as we run this, we will be asked in which folder we want to save it. So I will go for this processed one folder. I'm selecting this folder. Wait for the tool to work. All your bands at one go will get corrected. Now, often you might want to go for only top of atmosphere radiance, then see to it that you go for top of atmosphere radiance, that particular method. Let's wait. We are waiting for the tool to respond. Wait, because if you cancel it, then the process will be halted. Because it is altogether correcting 11 different bands, no? So it is expected to take a little bit of your time. All right. While this happens, let me go for yet another method that I think we will be able to accommodate. Unless and until you have any query. Do you have any query? If there's any query, please ask. Okay. All right. So, uh, I'm going to my repositories. So there is this one GitHub code that is made, basic codes in geospatial analysis. That is the name of it. What you can do is you can go for downloading this particular code. What this code does is that it brings in your file folder name, that is wherever, like for example, my folder is here, isn't it? So what I can do, I can note down this particular location of this particular code, sorry, of this particular folder where all my raw data is located, and then I give that location to this particular Landsat folder. So this is the path to Landsat folder which you want to correct for atmospheric correction. Okay, and what this code does is that it will correct your it will apply atmospheric correction, that is top of atmosphere radiance correction to your data set. It will save those corrected bands, and besides that it will on its own calculate these parameters which are 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, so it will calculate ndvi of your bands, of your data, of your Landsat. This is essentially for Landsat 8 and 9. Okay, it is not going to work for any other band other than that of this, unless and until you make slight changes in it. And then it will also go for calculating normalized difference built up index. It will also calculate normalized burn ratio. It will also calculate brightness temperature, then land emissivity also it will calculate, and also land surface temperature it will calculate. So these are the very basic spectral indices, no, that we often use. And for many of our environmental studies or things like that. And this particular code helps you in directly going for atmospheric correction, and then directly calculating even these 6 different spectral indices that are very often used in our studies. Okay, so you can download this particular code, and make sure that you also install these libraries within your Python environment, that is OSRE, raster.io, and NumPy. Install these libraries and you're good to go. You just have to give path, that is right from this c dot dot all the way until t1. No, this is your path to the Landsat carrying folder, Landsat data carrying folder. Okay, so you just give that path to it and then run it, and you will be getting all top of atmosphere radiance will be definitely done. It will also compute NDVI, that is normalized difference vegetation index, NDBI, land emissivity, brightness temperature, also what else was there? Land surface temperature also it will do, and then normalized difference built up index as well it will do. Okay, so get going with this, and let's come back to here. Yes, so it is. So apparently everything is ready. So what we can do is we can just close this down, and we will go to that folder where we are expecting our data to be stored. It is in processed one. So now as you go here, you will see that you have generated band 1 RT. It has an extension of RT, that is radiance, top of atmosphere radiance. So RT 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 9, only 9. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, only 9 it has done. Okay, 9 it has done. 10 and 11 also it must do. Okay, so but 10 and 11 you can do, because that manually have to do it, that method you already know how we did this particular data. Okay, so now let me just bring in all these from here to here. Let's have a look at them, add them, close. Okay, so these are the corrected bands. Now let me go You can do this in SAP tool as well. I think somewhere at the later point of time within this camp, you will also learn this SAP tool in more detail. So let us go to raster, and we want to create a composite out of it. Okay. So we will go to miscellaneous, and here build virtual raster. Let's go here, and we will give in all these bands, that is band 1, band 2, band 3, band 4, band 5, band 6, band 7. I'm just taking this band 7 until band 7, okay, because those are all with 30 meter of resolution. They are good to go with creating a composite. And the resolution, we don't want to be on average resolution, we want the highest resolution that is possible, and place each input file into a separate band. And then we move down, and we don't want to save this as save this permanently into our file, because it comes as a virtual raster and becomes very tough for us to import it into any other software like that of RWIS, or maybe even ArcGIS if you wish to work on it. So I would want to first just run this. It has run. Let's close this down. Let's change this. Maybe to symbology. I will make it 4, 3, and then 2. Apply. Okay. 2, 3, 2 is not working. Okay. I think I must have not chosen the bands in proper manner. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 2. Okay. So now I have I've just not chosen them in proper order. Okay, so make sure that whenever you are making a virtual raster, I mean a band composite, you bring them in that proper order that you will get to know through the other camp video. I think sixth or fifth, some video like that. So this is band composite that it has done out of the corrected data that we have used from um, corrected data that we have made from SCP tool. Okay, so you can use this SCP tool as well to correct your data, but learn how to make it manually, so that if you felt that yes, something is going wrong with the tool, then you can do it on your own. Okay, so we will stop here, and we will come back asking you if you have any query.